As Chancellor of the University, I declare this congregation open for conferring of degrees by the authority of the Senate and Council.
As Vice-Chancellor, I am delighted to welcome you all to this degree congregation. It is a celebration for all those who graduate today. We celebrate your major achievements that culminate in a degree from a major international research and teaching-led university. While you have been with us, the university has developed and changed. We are now a community of 19,500 students and over 3,000 staff, and we have a turnover of £158 million. It all demonstrates that universities are complex organisations. We engage in a range of activities. First, the development of our campus to support high-quality research, high-quality teaching, and a high-quality student experience. This year, we completed our mathematical modelling and space science building, which we will officially open and name after our Chancellor this autumn. We have refurbished laboratories for chemistry and archaeology. We will take over a new £20 million biomedical building at the end of the summer. Secondly, we have started a systematic fundraising campaign with 3 landmark projects. We aim to develop a world-class library for which we have already raised £16 million against a target of £25 million. A cardiovascular research institute is being developed for which we have raised all but £2 million for a £20 million project. Funding is to be developed for a range of academic positions, as staff, in my view, are the key to a high-quality university. So, if you can help us today or at another time, or know someone who can, please don't hesitate to talk to me at the end of this ceremony. Thirdly, we continue to develop high-quality research. In the Faculty of Social Science, staff in Labour Market Studies are engaged in a leading-edge Research Council study of work-based learning. In the Faculty of Arts, archaeology staff have continued to win major awards for innovative research and publications. These are just 2 examples from a whole array of rich research projects in the university. Fourthly, we engage in innovative teaching, and I am delighted to announce that Dr. Derek Rain in physics is the first member of staff in the university to be awarded a prestigious National Teaching Fellowship. Currently, there are special projects in medicine and physics that involve investigations on teaching methods and curricula, as well as new major initiatives developing in genetics education and in geography, which we hope will result in even more innovative work in teaching and learning. Fifthly, we make a contribution to the community through cultural activities, and this is demonstrated in many ways. Our work with schools, teachers, pupils and parents in the inner city is conducted with a view to broadening access. But most importantly is the work of students themselves. Contact, a student organisation, has this year had 540 student volunteers helping pupils to read, organising events for disabled pupils, and holidays for children who would otherwise not get one. Those pupils will never forget those of you who have been volunteers. It empowers the pupil, it changes their lives. We are very proud of your activities. Our Botanic Garden currently features our 3rd International Sculpture Exhibition. The exhibition runs until mid-September, and I hope while you are in the university, you will take the opportunity to visit it. In any organisation, change is inevitable, and this university is no exception. In Leicester, it will mean redeveloping our campus redeveloping our work in research and teaching. And there are several ways in which we are engaged in doing this. First, by establishing strategic alliances with higher and further education. We already have a network of 24 institutions in a Colleges University of Leicester network and have developed a special partnership with Bishop Grosseteste College in Lincoln and Newman College in Birmingham, whose courses we validate and with whom we work. Secondly, we engage in the development of medical research and medical education with the University of Warwick. And thirdly, we are thinking about ways in which we can continue to develop higher education in a dramatic way through building on our distance learning experience and developing online learning. This is an activity which will be particularly spearheaded by our newly appointed Professor of e-learning. 6,000 students already study with us by distance learning. So if today parents and friends feel a little left out of the action and would like their own University of Leicester degree, please get in touch with us after the ceremony. We could sign you up today. The list of activities in a university such as this is endless. Dynamic universities are rich in the areas that they explore. I hope that those of you who graduate today are very proud of your university and will wish to come back. But first, I would like to congratulate you on the degrees that you have obtained. I hope you will keep in touch with the university, and I shall look forward to seeing you at alumni events. But before I close, I would like you to join me in showing your appreciation to your parents, relatives, friends, and sponsors who have supported you through the university. So I would now ask the graduating class of 2004 to join me in a round of applause for those people. Of course, what I omitted to tell you is that we have a little competition in these degree ceremonies, who can applaud loudest and longest in the different faculties. Now, last Friday, we were in Lincoln Cathedral awarding degrees to 2 cohorts of new Leicester graduates. I have to say the applause was very good, and I said to them there, well, you know, you did very well. I think you're going to have to really lift the roof off this morning, especially if you're going to compete with the Faculty of Medicine and Biological Sciences on Friday. But the main thing today is to celebrate, have a really enjoyable day, applaud your fellow students, and all good wishes to you in your future careers.
Perhaps the most valuable idea that a student can acquire at a university is the importance of original thought, of a dispassionate analysis of evidence, and of the avoidance of stereotypes. Stereotyping, in particular, can lead one seriously astray. For example, those of us who watch films, or even The Simpsons, know the stereotype of the orchestral conductor, male, Central European, long-haired, and about 80 years old. Jane Glover is one of the most respected of British conductors, but most certainly does not fit the stereotype. She is noted as a conductor of opera and choral music with a particular interest in the Baroque period. She is also an accomplished scholar of Baroque music, noted for preparing her own editions of works of that period. Jane Glover was born in Helmsley, North Yorkshire, the daughter of a headmaster. She was educated at Monmouth School for Girls, from where she went to St Hugh's College, Oxford. After graduation, she stayed on to complete a D.Phil on 17th century Venetian opera and to become a junior research fellow. The outcome was her pioneering study of the operatic composer Cavalli, which appeared in 1978. By then, she had also been appointed lecturer in music at St Hugh's, a post she held from 1976 to 1984. Her research work resulted in the award of a senior research fellowship, which she held from 1982 to 1991. During this time, she contributed to the handbook on Monteverdi's opera Orfeo and wrote many learned articles. Whilst at Oxford, she also acquired the art and practice of conducting. Jane Glover made her professional debut at the Wexford Festival in 1975. This was the Wexford Festival when one of the local landladies was moved to complain about the behaviour of some of the tenors. All that crashing and clattering upstairs, and now the Pope's fallen off the wall. At Wexford, Jane Glover conducted the first performance of her own edition of Cavalli's opera L'Eritrea. This was the beginning of the revival of interest in Cavalli. Now, Pier Francesco Cavalli was born in 1602. He was organist at St Mark's in Venice when Monteverdi was maestro di cappella there, and later succeeded him in that post. In his day, he was seen as the greatest living composer, and was even invited to Paris to write a festive opera for the wedding of Louis XIV in 1662. He died a wealthy man in 1676. For some reason, he was almost completely forgotten until Jane Glover produced her study of him. Cavalli is now seen as the most important composer of opera in the quarter century after Monteverdi. Jane Glover includes 3 of his operas in her repertoire. Jane Glover was music director of the Glyndebourne Touring Company from 1982 to 1985 and artistic director of the London Mozart Players from 1981 to 1991. Under her leadership, the Mozart Players expanded their repertoire beyond the great 18th century classics to take in a wide range of contemporary works. The result was a series of adventurous and highly praised concerts, including the major South Bank series of concerts under the title Music of Two Decades, the 1780s and 1980s. She was, in addition, principal conductor of the Huddersfield Choral Society from 1989 to 1996. Today, the music of Mozart is her major commitment, and she is presently engaged in writing a new study of him for the Mozart year, which will be celebrated in 2006, the 250th anniversary of his birth. Jane Glover made her New York debut in 1994 in a gala concert featuring Jesse Norman, which was televised across the United States. In 2002, she took up the position of music director of the Chicago Music of the Baroque, for whom she had conducted Monteverdi's Orfeo in 2000. Jane Glover has conducted all of the major symphony orchestras in Britain, as well as orchestras in Europe, the United States, the Far East, and Australia. Her many recordings feature a series of Mozart and Haydn symphonies and of arias with Felicity Lott, all with the London Mozart Players, for which she won the Music Retailers Award for Excellence in both 1991 and 1992. She has broadcast extensively for the BBC, including the television series Orchestra in 1983 and Mozart in 1985, and the 2 radio series Opera House of 1995 and Musical Dynasties in 2000. As if her scholarly and conducting activities were not enough, Jane Glover is actively involved in public life. She was a governor of the Royal Academy of Music from 1985 to 1990 and a governor of the BBC from 1990 to 1995. She was awarded the CBE in 2003. Today, we are proud to honour a scholar and a musician. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and of the Council, I present Jane Alison Glover, that you may confer on her the honorary degree of Doctor of Music.
Madam, I think this is the Doctor of Music. Welcome you, Madam. Congratulations.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Senate and Council, and most important of all, the graduands. It is a great pleasure for me to be here, not least because, as I'm sure you all know, the Montfort Hall is one of the great concert halls of this country. If you haven't heard music in here before, you will have heard the excellent brass and timpani group as we came in, and the organist, and the acoustic is great. And I actually checked my diary this morning. It is 20 years ago exactly since I made my first appearance here on this stage. And since then I have been here several times as a performer with some great British orchestras like the Royal Philharmonic and the Philharmonia and the CBSO, and my own lot, the London Mozart Players. The difference, of course, between then and now is that I've always had my back to the audience. And actually, I quite like it that way, because one is unaware of the audience in a sense, and one concentrates on the people with whom one is doing the job and making the music, and that's lovely. I always feel rather sorry for my colleagues who are out front and looking at the audience. Having said that, I'm always very much aware of how important an audience is to any creative process, and the whole business of live music making is still incredibly important to all of us. However, today I am absolutely thrilled to be facing this way because you all look so great. And any minute now you're all going to come up and collect your degrees, and this is a great moment for you, as it is for me, and I haven't worked for mine. I feel an intruder, really, on this, which is your day. And it's a sort of junction day in your lives, at the end of 3 or 4 years, however many years it is that you've been working hard, and today is the end of it all. But it's also the beginning of something else. And T.S. Eliot, of course, put it all so well on beginnings and endings, and I won't begin to quote the 4 quartets, but I would just refer you to them. But certainly in my beginning is my end, and my end is my beginning. So today, as you, in your magnificent robes, facing all this and looking at your colleagues with your family and friends beside you, this day is a day you will never forget. But it is not only the end of something, it is, as the Vice-Chancellor said, the beginning of something. And I wish you the very best for whatever it is that life has for you in the future. And I thank the University of Leicester for gathering me into its very warm fold. I'm thrilled to be here, and I wish you all the very best.
The graduands in the Faculty of Arts will be presented by the Dean, Professor Shattuck. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of Arts to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands of the Faculty of Arts, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Helen Connis-Poliartis. For the degree of Master of Arts in History, Emma Berry. Leon Burton. Emma Button. Louise Haynes. Melanie Meyer. Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
The graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will be presented by the Dean, Professor Jackson. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of the Social Sciences to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduands of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees which you are presented.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Cheryl Bailey. Catherine Burrell. Anastasia Skiada. Anthony Upton. For the degree of Master of Arts in English Local History, Max Bailey. Winner of the Richard McKinley Prize, Hilary Crowden. Winner of the Richard McKinley Prize, Catherine Dack. Philip Davis. Amanda Deblin. Patricia Grundy. Pamela Jenkins. Alison Leitner. Richard Southern. Eric Whelan. For the degree of Master of Arts in International Security Studies, Craig Thompson. For the degree of Master of Science in Community Safety, Alina Haynes. Jacqueline McElthwaite. Kevin Pellett. Alan Roach. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice, Elaine Chapman. Philip Jakes. Juan Locke Luke. Holly Webb. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice and Police Management, Wayne Miller. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminology, Anshna Bojwani. Nathan Haynes. For the degree of Master of Science in Forensic Investigation, Pamela Hughes. Ian Patterson. Natalie Shepherd. For the degree of Master of Science in Health and Safety Management, Andrew Bowden. Anthony Horsfall. Arthur Lovell. Yogi Madlani. Maria Monroe. Maxine Oliver. Raymond Rapp. Ian Salisbury. Stephen Taylor. For the degree of Master of Science in Police Leadership and Management, Kevin Dunwoody. Philip Fortin. Mark Hamilton. Christopher Jennings. Simon Nicholas. Stephen Price. Joanne Statham. Eris Stoner. For the degree of Master of Science in Policing and Public Order Studies, Ian McGrail. Bernd Ruff. Sarah Williams. For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, William Boyd. Peter Griffiths. Nick Muir. John Orton. June Thompson. For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Organisational Risk Management, Maxim Solovey. For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Ibrahim Al-Gaith. Stephen Calvert. John Collins. John Dennis. Alpha Karoma. Paul Mahi. William McLennan. Christopher Sherwood. For the degree of Master of Science in Security Management, John Cross. David Drake. For the degree of Master of Science in the Study of Security Management, Andrew Winter. For the degree of Master of Science in Training, Terence Bentley Gouldstone. For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Human Resource Management, Lorraine Aquilina. John Attard. Angelina Bateman. Michelle Borg. Jacqueline Bugita. Josiane Camilleri. Romina Carabo. Maria Kassar. Cindy Chu. Andrew Davis. Jean Dove. Raymond Fava. Helen Hugobert Richards. John Lang. Emir Oglesby. Anne Samuel Maher. Prasad Sivarjaj. Gertrude Spiteri. Gis Tiemersa. Lavinia Wilkinson. Hugh Lin Yam. Angelique Zamat Gat. For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Performance Management, Assunta Delaney. Etienne Gers. Elphege Joseph. Susan Kenny Eustace. Paul Moran. Diane Perry Yates. Sally Smith. Yuk Mei Se. Fiona Wong. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Contemporary History, Sarah Amos. Kelly Arnold Hall. Caroline Burgess. Christopher Clark. Richard Cronin. Martin Dudley. Richard Dunmal. Matthew Grief. Rachel Green. Matthew Hawes. Gavin Jolly. Christopher Jones. Benjamin Kennedy. Christopher Loftus. Patrick McKenna. David Newby. David Parker. Winner of the Maurice Hookham Prize, David Pritchard. Andrew Rotherby. Richard Saar. Caroline Warren. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Amritpal Bains. Kate Blakemore. Neil Brahma. Anthony Chilvers. Matthew Davis. Gareth de Graaf. Roshan Diaz Yayasingi. Felix Fellman. Jacob Gardner. Thomas Gunson. Laura Holland. David Joffe. David Lambert. Ahad Maya. Obida Obiha. Tina Pierce. Amanda Pinks. Claire Reid. Darren Ricks. Adrian Spence. Senan Stewart. Kostas Theodorodou. Luke Ward. Timothy Whitehead. Petros Yangu. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics with a year in Europe, Gregory Jinks. Oliver Parker. Adeleke Adebiye. Mark Alexander. Ravinder Bahal. Jonathan Barnes. Elizabeth Bell. Scott Brunning. Jeffrey Chamberlain. Y. Pugh Chan. Nicola Chapman. Lucy Charlton. James Condron. Francis Connolly. Winner of the SEMA Prize for Business Economics, Christian Cozzolino. Ratna Dave. Oliver Donahue. Nicholas Drape. Michael Dunkley. Andrew Eden. David Europe Fina. Amir Farouk. Marcus Field. Robert Fleet. Daniel Gaffney. Timothy Giraldi. Paul Goodman. Adam Grant. Catherine Hart. Mark Harwood. Ben Holmes. Eileen Shea. Chi Fung Hugh. Chris James. Peter Kennedy. Tim Kerwood. Ka Yan Lai. Shuk Fong Lai. Carmen Lee.
Congratulations, well done.
Kar Fei Leung.
Congratulations, well done.
Oluwabatsola Maharino. David McTurk.
Congratulations, well done.
Yote Mihan.
Congratulations.
Hong Bo Mo.
Congratulations.
Thomas Moore.
Congratulations.
Oswald Nico Anand.
Congratulations.
Amita Patel.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Painter.
Congratulations.
Samuel Peacock.
Congratulations.
Tijal Rekura.
Congratulations.
Deepa Ranavaya.
Congratulations.
Zainab Rashid.
Congratulations.
Amrik Sangera. Nitu Saxena.
Congratulations.
Austin Shepherd.
Congratulations.
John Sussens.
Congratulations.
Si Yang Tang.
Congratulations.
Yoga Upal.
Congratulations.
Gavin Walwork.
Congratulations.
Ryan Webb.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Wistow.
Congratulations.
Cho Yu Chow.
Congratulations.
Yu Chow.
Congratulations.
A winner of the Arthur Poole Memorial Prize, Jing Yang.
Congratulations.
Anita Yong.
Congratulations.
Chun Hua Yu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business Economics with a year in Europe, Andy Baker.
Congratulations, well done.
Claire Spottiswood.
Congratulations, well done.
Rita Patel is a magnificent champion of the rights of people in Leicester. Through a life of tireless community service, she's worked to empower local individuals and communities to take control of their own destiny and fight for their rightful place in the world. Rita was born in India. Her family were pillars of the community. Her father, vice principal of the local college, and her mother, a teacher. When Rita was 5, her father decided to seek a better future for his family in the UK. Once here, he found a demoralizing world of racism, discrimination, and disadvantage. His qualifications and experience were not recognized, and he took lowly jobs to support himself as he re-qualified, only to find a teaching career denied to him by the frank discrimination of those times. Rita followed her father to the UK at the age of 7 and attended local schools in Leicester, where her experience was more positive. She remembers in particular the help of teachers who, finding her mystified by nursery rhymes that all the other children knew well, explained the meaning of Polly put the kettle on. Rita did well at school and applied to this university to read for a degree in law. Sadly, her talents were not recognised and the application was rejected. a matter we're about to correct. She moved on to a career in banking and spent several years assimilating the arcane principles of finance, which were to stand her in good stead for her later work. She continued to be influenced by her father, however, who had channeled his energy into working for the community, and she determined to follow his example. This commitment was greatly enhanced by his untimely death at the age of 49, when Rita was just 21. She left the bank and became a school home liaison officer in the notorious Highfields district of the city. At that time, the social facilities for Asian women were limited, and Rita, with a group of friends, founded the Belgrave Girls Movement to offer opportunities for safe social interaction. It was about that time that there was a hot summer of riots across the UK, including Leicester, which raised the grim spectre of protracted racial violence. Rita determined to mobilise women to play a part in diffusing these issues, and her group formed the Belgrave Baheno. The organisation based its philosophy on Asian women working together in sisterhood, the meaning of Baheno. They aimed to address the needs of women, in particular Asian women and girls living primarily in the Belgrave area of Leicester, and through that, the needs of wider black communities. From its small beginning with 5 young women, the organisation has grown enormously to a membership of over 5,000 women and girls and a turnover of over £600,000 a year. Successful in obtaining funding for buildings and support, in 1983, the newly fledged Belgrave Baheno needed a project worker. Unable to recruit, they turned to Rita. Although initially reluctant, she was finally persuaded to take the job on, and there she has been ever since, leading the movement from strength to strength. Central to her work is the building of confidence to empower groups and individuals to make their way in the world. A pioneering course in civics, for example, taught people how the structures of society function, putting their hands on the levers of influence that make things happen in this world. The centre soon took on a major role in helping women who suffered domestic violence. Its supportive and empowering environment enabled victims finally to declare their abuse and seek refuge and support. The work has culminated in the Minutiae Research Project, Beaten but Not Defeated, which has had a huge influence across the nation. In 1990, Belgrave Baheno co-founded the 1990 Trust, an organisation with the aim of developing and supporting community networks. In 1991, new children's facilities were opened. A whole host of important visitors have come to the centre, and it received the prestigious Jason Robinson Award for Innovation in Community Development. Rita herself was awarded the Community Midlander of the Year Award in 2001 and has found herself drawn into a range of national activities, being a board member of the Metropolitan Police Racial and Violent Crime Lay Members Group and committee member of the Home Office Forced Marriages Working Party in 1999. Over the last few years, Rita has devoted huge energy to a major endeavour, the People Project, raising millions of pounds and finding a site for a large community centre designed to meet the needs of the wider community. She has proven an effective combatant in the murky world of local politics and fought her proposals through so that as we speak, the concrete is being poured to realise this vision. The People Centre will be a major resource for Belgrave, with all the facilities of the existing centre, plus many more for recreation, health promotion and community support. Throughout her travails, Rita has applied the dictum of her spiritual mentor Gandhi, that no one is an enemy, everyone is a teacher. In her long, hard battles, she has stuck to her principles, learning from adversity and playing a huge role in converting Leicester from the intolerant, discriminatory world experienced by her father to a vibrant, multicultural city which celebrates diversity and strives to provide opportunities for all. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present to you Rita Patel, that you may confer upon her the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Isn't it a fantastic day today? Yes, it's a brilliant day, not just for the graduates. And I'm really sorry I'm not following formality, Chancellor, but I think it is a magic day. I believe that in humanity, in each one of us, exists an inherent greatness and an infinite potential, as people like Mandela and Gandhi have said. I believe that in each one of the graduates today, each one of the human beings in this room today, exists a light, exists an inherent wisdom that we need to rely on. I believe that social justice in this world will be created through that. If there's anything that I've learned along the journey that's been described now, it's that no one is an enemy, everyone is a teacher. If you can see an opportunity in every little thing that happens in your life, every bit of adversity, then you will do well. I believe that in each one of us exists a magic that can actually help us to be the best human being that we can be. And that is what has led me to this point. I did apply to do law at Leicester University and got refused, but I believe that the universe has a way of putting things right, and I believe today it's putting things right. I think you're all too serious today. You should be enjoying today. It's a magical day for you. You've worked so hard over the years, and you've come to this point where you're launching into your life and what life has to bring you. And life will bring you success in all sorts of ways if you're consistent and if you stick to the principles and values that you believe in. If you learn to listen to your inherent greatness, to your inner voice. Often as human beings, we're told to check ourselves with our minds. And by checking ourselves with our minds, we override that wisdom that's already within us. It's important to have been through the experience that you've all been through in coming to Leicester University, in coming to Leicester. And I believe that Leicester is the center of the universe, as you will discover one day. It truly is. But I also believe that in all of that learning that you have had over the last 3 years, that you participated in as active students, don't forget that there is also that wisdom within you. Whenever things get tough, you need to become quiet and silent and still and let that wisdom come through and listen to that wisdom and follow it through. However difficult it may seem at the time, follow it through. You know, what is seen by a lot of people, or what was seen by a lot of people as a poxy little Asian women's organisation, and what can they do anyway, have raised £16 million in order to build the People Centre. And we don't intend just to have one People Centre in this city. We intend to export the people magic all over the world, globally. And now you too are part of that magic, because you too are part of Leicester. You will take a bit of Leicester and a bit of Leicester University and a bit of the people that you've shared your lives with over the last 3 years all over the world with you. And take that bit with pride and never forget where this journey has started for you. And a big thanks and a big honor for all of the families who are here, friends, families who've supported their young graduates in going through the journey that they've been through. But the magic that exists within us all is the thing that will produce the social justice, the kind of thing that Mandela and Gandhi have been working for. And I believe that in whatever humble way I can contribute to that, it's important for me to contribute to that. But it is also important for each one of you to contribute to that. Each one of us, all of us, to contribute to that. And that will happen if you just stay true to yourself and you become the best human being that you can be. It is a great honor, it is a fantastic honor to be awarded this doctorate for me. But not just for myself, I accept it on behalf of the women of Belgrano, of the communities that I work within, and the people who have inspired me along the way, black and white. I believe in this world it shouldn't matter whether you're black or white, a man or a woman, old or young. Each one of us has the potential to be a fantastic human being. I wish you well in your life, and I thank very much Leicester University for conferring this doctorate on me. And my final request is, I don't normally shake hands, I only give hugs, and I'd like to give a hug to the Chancellor, please.
I'm afraid it's back to the formality. The remaining graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will be presented by the Dean, Professor Jackson.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Financial Economics, Gareth Baldwin.
Congratulations.
Vijay Chandrana. Sandeep Chandra. Lily Guan. Ella Howe.
Congratulations.
Adam Howard.
Congratulations.
Hades Eep.
Congratulations.
Christine Kearney.
Congratulations.
Yusuf Khan.
Congratulations.
Lee Man Lam.
Congratulations.
Beninda Leal.
Congratulations.
Christopher Lay.
Congratulations.
Ling Bo Lai.
Congratulations.
Zhen Lai.
Congratulations.
Min Liang.
Congratulations.
Maggie Mack.
Congratulations.
Thomas Mason.
Congratulations.
Stuart Robson.
Congratulations.
Ru Peng Shi.
Congratulations.
Li Kwang Soon.
Congratulations.
Si Wu.
Congratulations.
Ding Wei Yo.
Congratulations.
Ki Man Yun. Jing Zhang.
Congratulations.
Sen Kui Zhang.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Law, Shaheen Admani.
Congratulations.
Donna Batty.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Felicidad Martinez Perinos Memorial Prize for Law and Economics, Gita Bhatt.
Congratulations and well done on your time.
Stephen Bowden.
Congratulations.
Daniel Braithwaite.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Sarah Dada.
Congratulations.
Verinder Gill.
Congratulations.
Richard Green.
Congratulations.
Anila Hanif.
Congratulations.
William Hoptman.
Congratulations.
Simon Heggs.
Congratulations.
Palbir Kandola.
Congratulations.
Baljit Kaur.
Congratulations.
Christopher Kelly.
Congratulations.
Laura Lee.
Congratulations.
Anthony Lewis.
Congratulations.
Lynn McLarens.
Congratulations.
Martin Ochs.
Congratulations.
Salah Parekh.
Congratulations.
Charlie Patel.
Congratulations.
Gillian Perkins.
Congratulations.
Thomas Pike.
Congratulations.
James Savage.
Congratulations.
Mona Schrodel.
Congratulations.
Monica Sermino.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Facilidad Martinez Purinos Memorial Prize for Law and Economics, Claire Smith.
Congratulations. And well done on your prize.
John Stoddard.
Congratulations.
Philip White.
Congratulations.
Ben Williams.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Economic and Social History, and winner of the Ralph Davis Prize, Daniel Bennett.
Congratulations. And well done on your prize.
Benjamin Blackwell.
Congratulations.
Adam Brain.
Congratulations.
John Gilbert.
Congratulations.
John Griffin.
Congratulations.
Richard Harrison.
Congratulations.
Sarah Head.
Congratulations.
Richard Hoskin.
Congratulations.
Claire Howes.
Congratulations.
Philip Hunt.
Congratulations.
Stephanie Innes.
Congratulations.
Sarah Jobson.
Congratulations.
Matthew Johnson.
Congratulations.
Hannah Ray Kingsley.
Congratulations.
Ian McNally.
Congratulations.
Craig Moss.
Congratulations.
Christopher O'Shea.
Congratulations.
Thomas Prescott.
Congratulations.
Benjamin Rajanovich.
Congratulations.
William Rees.
Congratulations.
Anne Ryan.
Congratulations.
Caroline Simpson.
Congratulations.
Stephen Taylor.
Congratulations.
Emily Thomas.
Congratulations.
Matthew Toms.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Ralph Davis Prize, Kim Whaley.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
Winner of the H.J. Dias Prize, Rebecca Wright.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Very good.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Human Geography, Tristan Bainbridge.
Congratulations. Thank you.
John Clamp.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Peter Coates.
Congratulations.
Charlotte Fisher.
Congratulations.
Lucy Fox.
Congratulations.
Rebecca Fry.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Adam Hobbs.
Congratulations.
Alistair Kemp.
Congratulations.
Dominic Manning.
Congratulations.
Matthew Martin.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Miles Pruton.
Congratulations.
Claire Redgewell.
Congratulations.
Tracy Smith.
Congratulations.
Donna Walker.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography and Economic and Social History, Eloise Boyce.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alexandra Catlow.
Congratulations.
Kieran Latty.
Congratulations.
Thomas Marshall.
Congratulations.
Matthew Murtagh. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Politics and winner of the Maurice Hookham Prize, Lucy Arnold.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
John Ashton.
Congratulations.
Duncan Burford.
Congratulations.
Tom Campbell.
Congratulations.
John Clayton.
Congratulations.
Matthew Cooper.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Michael Craggs.
Congratulations.
Mark Croxford.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Alice Dimman.
Congratulations.
Louise Eyre.
Congratulations.
Andrea Gordon.
Congratulations.
Michelle Hughes.
Congratulations.
Andres Korczak.
Congratulations.
Adam Lewis.
Congratulations.
Andrew McClellan.
Congratulations.
Timothy McClellan.
Congratulations.
Matthew McMahon.
Congratulations.
Simon Merry.
Congratulations.
Shiva Siva Karuntha Tapela.
Congratulations.
Joseph Smeltzer.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Winner of the Elsie and Barnett Janner Travel Scholarship, Emma Stevens.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Thank you.
Robin Warnock.
Congratulations.
Christopher Wickham.
Congratulations.
Kevin Wright.
Congratulations.
Guy Young.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Politics and Economic and Social History, Chris Anscombe.
Congratulations.
Ben Brophy.
Congratulations.
Mark Cheeseman.
Congratulations.
Amy Cook.
Congratulations.
Neil Douglas.
Congratulations.
Christopher Eno.
Congratulations.
Victoria Hill.
Congratulations.
Ian Gill.
Congratulations.
Emily Lofting.
Congratulations.
Benjamin Lukey.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Kavita Patel.
Congratulations.
William Powell.
Congratulations.
Simon Reeves.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Economics, Mishan Abi Wadeni.
Congratulations.
Chris Archer.
Congratulations.
Lucy Kamaromi.
Congratulations.
Suhana Modsular.
Congratulations.
Tolalupi Obdun.
Congratulations.
David Pierce.
Congratulations.
Owen Richardson.
Congratulations.
Christopher Steedman.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Anand Analkat.
Congratulations.
Richard Worrell.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Economics, Richard Greasley.
Congratulations.
Christopher Green.
Congratulations. Well done.
Matthew Hillier.
Congratulations.
Keith Hobbs.
Congratulations.
Andrew Jack.
Congratulations.
Young Jiang Lin,
Congratulations.
Ning Li,
Congratulations.
Rebecca Love,
Congratulations.
Alistair Sillins,
Congratulations.
Sherry Sukendi,
Congratulations.
Wei Jack Tan,
Congratulations.
Mona Zhang,
Congratulations. Thank you.
for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Financial Economics, James Avery,
Congratulations. Well done.
Wing Li Cheng,
Congratulations.
Chu Lin Kong,
Congratulations.
Wing Kyung Law,
Congratulations.
Michelle Mack,
Congratulations.
Devin Ung,
Congratulations.
Nga Se Wong,
Congratulations.
Chong Kin Woo,
Congratulations.
Chi Shun Yun,
Congratulations.
for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business Economics, Saminder Hothi,
Congratulations. Well done.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Lord Lieutenant, Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by congratulating our honorary graduates and saying how pleased we are that they have found time to join us for this ceremony, giving the younger ones amongst you an indication of the exciting things you may aspire to in later life. All the rest of you have had to earn your degrees the quick way, just by working hard and passing exams. I congratulate you all, and also those behind the scenes, parents, teachers and friends who have helped you to get to this stage. It is a little over 50 years since I myself graduated, and half a century is a substantial slice of history. Much has happened in that time, in politics, economics, science, technology. Old empires faded away, the Cold War emerged with its threatening arms race, eventually ending with the collapse of the Berlin Wall. New technology changed our lives: television, computers, the internet, DNA, the human genome. What will happen in the next 50 years, in your lifetime? There are three kinds of answer one can give to this question. One, we do not know. Two, you will find out. Three, it depends on you. The future is only partly predetermined. Much will depend on your generation. You all have a responsibility for yourselves, your family, for your society, and for mankind as a whole. Having started down this historical route, let me take you back a little further to England in the 17th century, the age of Isaac Newton and the dawn of modern science. In 1698, Peter the Great, Tsar of Russia, spent several months in England studying shipbuilding and navigation, tutored by Edmund Halley, the astronomer who predicted the famous comet that bears his name. Peter the Great also took back with him to Russia many mathematicians, engineers, doctors, and naval officers as part of his grand design of modernizing Russia. Incidentally, it's said that he went round the dockyards in disguise as a common sailor, but since he was a giant of a man, fully 2 meters tall, the disguise must have been a thin one. Now, why am I recounting this piece of ancient history? Because all the differences, despite all the differences, it is still relevant for our time. Now it is not Russia, but China that is in a hurry to modernize itself. It is doubtful if sending the Chinese leader to London for several months in the dockyards would now be the right solution. Instead, China has sensibly sent over its students. At the last count, there were 35,000 students at British universities from mainland China, and the figures are expected to rise rapidly. Now, while I have singled out China as the most dramatic example, it is, of course, part of a much bigger picture. Students from India, East Asia, and other parts of the world have been coming in ever-increasing numbers here. They come for a variety of purposes, but they return to modernize their countries. And it is not only governments that send or finance these students. Many come with their own resources, supported by their families, who appreciate the advantages of higher education. As you may know, and as the Vice-Chancellor usually emphasises, Leicester has been in the forefront of the provision of education for foreign students. Moreover, modern communications, not available in the time of Peter the Great, mean that the university can now go to the student rather than the other way around. Just think what Peter the Great would have achieved if he'd had email. So how does this little historical digression help us peer into the next 50 years? First of all, we see the impending rise of China and India with their vast populations and their dramatic economic growth. I've been to both countries frequently in the past few years. I can assure you the figures do not lie. Nearer home and with less fanfare, the steady enlargement of the European Union is certainly a historic event whose real significance is underplayed in this country. Turning from politics and economics to science and technology, we are all expecting great things from the application of molecular biology to medicine. You may all live much longer, perhaps long enough to come back to Leicester for a further degree in, say, 2050. Other changes will come from scientific discoveries that are not yet on the horizon. Science may surpass science fiction. Unfortunately, the future is not all rosy. Climate change has threatened us all and is, in the words of David King, the government's chief scientific advisor, a greater danger than terrorism. You, the younger generation, have to persuade your political leaders of the truth of this statement. There are also serious local problems with global implications. Many of them, I regret to say, residues of the British Empire. I once listed 4 of these in historical order: Ireland, South Africa, Palestine, Kashmir. Of these seemingly intractable problems, there has been progress on 3, leaving only that of Palestine with its infamous wall. I hope that your generation will see a just and peaceful resolution of all of them. Finally, as we look from the 20th to the 21st century, we should recognize the remarkable way in which the English language has become an almost universal medium of discourse. Science and business at an international level are increasingly conducted in English, a fact which, of course, makes a university degree from this country particularly valuable. It seems unlikely that this will change, though as a precaution, you might like to brush up on your Mandarin. I hope that I have not scared you off for the next 50 years. Whatever happens, your Leicester education should stand you in good stead. You will have acquired skills, you will have learned to think clearly and argue rationally, you will have had contact with students from other cultures and other backgrounds. You will need to be adaptable, and you may well spend time working and living in foreign countries. The modern world has no borders. I wish you all every success. I now declare this congregation closed.